longevity stuff that's outside. So my name is Carrie Drinkwine, and I am the owner of the Institute of Regenerative Health, as well as Wise Wellness Holistic Clinic. And I really got into this work by accident, right? Through my own illness. So I was diagnosed with early onset lupus, Hashimoto, and fibromyalgia, as well as chronic unexplained adrenal fatigue when I was 30 years old. So that was 11 years ago. And I'm now 41. I have no chronic illness. I was also diagnosed with unexplained infertility. I birthed 2 children after that diagnosis, nursed them both for 2 years each, and I'm a standing living testament that health is an inside job. We cannot inject health, and we cannot take a pill to create health. And this is really what I want to help people understand, is so many people are focused on, obviously this community here is really curious, we're really open, we're really into, how do I bring wellness into my body naturally? But the common message that we hear, how many people have heard that, what are your genetics, right? It's genetic, you have to fill out your genetic history every time you go to the doctor. Well, what if I told you that only 5% of your actual health trajectory is genetic? That's actually the truth. So if somebody told you, hey, you have a 95% chance of not getting a disease, you'd be like, woohoo, right? Amazing. But that's actually the reality. We actually have a 95% chance of not developing chronic illness if we change in the terrain in the environment inside of our body. This is proven through epigenetics, that the environment that surrounds the cell is more important than the cell itself. So what I want to share with you today is so many people are heavily focused on labs, on hormone panels, on chemicals, on blood tests, right? But I'm here to tell you the blood is such a microscopic window of your body. And I learned this the hard way, because by the time I was diagnosed at 30 years old, I had been going to the doctor for 5 years. How many of you have been to the doctor and said, I don't feel normal, something's wrong, and you were sent out the door saying, everything looks normal, good, your blood looks fine, and you know your body, you know something is wrong. I was dealing with a lot of crazy stuff, like weight gain, chronic fatigue, my heels felt like glass when I was walking. I had chronic constipation. By the way, can we talk about that? If you eat, you should poop. If you have a meal, you should release that meal within a couple of hours, the excess waste. And I had constipation where I was going to the bathroom maybe once or twice a week maximum. And what you don't eliminate, you recirculate and you reabsorb. So all these things were happening in my body. I had chronic fatigue. I was blacking out from squatting to standing. I couldn't go squatting to standing. My husband would have to help me very slowly get out of bed because I would pass out. I had closed my eyes at every stoplight because I was so tired. I had such chronic fatigue. I had rashes and hives all over my body, and every doctor told me I was normal because my blood was normal. Well, I'm here to tell you why that is. The reason why your blood looks normal is because you are 80% lymphatic fluid and 20% blood. So the blood is this really small window. It's a huge vitality part of our body, is absolutely necessary. But the lymphatic system is the sewer system of the body. It's what's designed to take out the trash. We all know if we don't take out the trash in the house, we're gonna have a big problem, right? We're gonna have an overflow of waste. Well, the lymph system is designed to keep everything out of the blood. And when we actually see something in the blood, there's been a spill. The lymph has lost control. The lymph has poured over into the blood, and now you have a diagnosis. So one of my favorite saying is, don't be dazzled by the diagnosis, just do the dang detox. Because any symptomology is showing you that your terrain is flooded, that your body is overwhelmed or inundated, whether it's heavy metals, chemicals, pesticides, unprocessed emotions. All of these things actually impact what I call our electric body. And this is one big key component that really came through to me. How many of you love coffee? Right? I know, it smells good, tastes good, feels amazing. How many of you crash after coffee? Right? Or you drink another cup, right? Okay, so anytime we're tired, right? When we feel tired, this is a sign that your electric voltage is down anytime you're tired. So I look at the body from the mitochondrial level. And when we look at the body as electric, we have to understand that we actually are electric before we're chemical. So when we're testing the bloods, we're seeing our hormone panels, our chemicals that are off, our vitamins and minerals, etc. This is only happening because there is an electrical deficiency inside the mitochondria. When you don't have enough energy, we've all, like I flew across the world to get here, right? And when you've not slept for a couple days, you aren't crushing life, right? Generally speaking, you're too tired to carry out the functions that you want to do. The same thing is happening inside your body at the cellular level. When the millivolt is low, you're reaching for coffee, you're reaching for tea, you're reaching for sugar, you're reaching for the next thing. And when that millivoltage drops, you start to move into a symptomology state. The reason why this happens is because your body is designed to heal itself. That's it. I'm not a healer. Nobody out there is a healer. Your body is the healer. When you put your body into the right environment and you give it the right voltage, it will repair itself 100% on its own. So when you have the proper voltage in your cell, you essentially won't have cell breakdown, cell damage, cell miscommunication. So the body is best understood as a bioelectric system. And rather than just a biochemical machine, which is everybody's focusing on the chemical body. And I can provide these slides too for anybody that links it. In the very last slide, I'm going to give you guys a QR code to get on my free email list. I'll email this to everybody, okay? But we are driven by the electrical signals, frequency, and biophotonic light inside of the body, rather than chemical reactions. So did you know that every single one of your cells, we have about 35 trillion to 75 trillion cells based on your body size, and every single one of those cells emit what's called biophotonic light. And you can see this, if you come by my table, I'm Institute of Regenerative Health in the back corner. I'll get it up for you guys, but you can see light underneath a live blood microscopy. When you look at cells, every single dis-ease patient I've had in my clinic over the last 10 years, they have almost no light around their cells. The cells are in rouleau, they're stacked, they're sticky, and there's very little light. What's happening here is the lack of light, is the light, the biophotonic light that emits from your cell is actually how your cell talks and sends signals at up to 250 miles an hour. Is that insane? Our body is not Wi-Fi, it's actually working on light emission. So the less light you have in your body, the more dis-ease you have in your body. The less light you have in your body, the lower the voltage you have in your body. This is why we need the sun. This is why we need to ground on the earth. This is why we see red light therapy, which is fantastic, but if we actually were outside, we don't need red light therapy, right? We need infrared light from the sun. Everything that you need was given to you when you walked into this earth. And then all this extra stuff is to repair all the damage we've done. So every cell in the body generates an electrical potential like a tiny battery. So I want you to think of your cell as a battery. Every single cell actually should be vibrating at negative 70 millivolts or 0.07 volts. If you times that by your 35 trillion cells, that's about 350 trillion millivolts. That's a powerful battery, okay? That's how powerful our bodies are. And this electrical charge, guess what it's maintained through? Sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, your minerals. Where do you get minerals? Fruits, vegetables, spring water, living foods. Okay, the cell membrane acts as a capacitator, storing and regulating your electrical charge and allowing for communication and metabolic function. Your nervous system operates through these electrical impulses that it's receiving, and it sends, like I mentioned, speeds up to 250 miles per hour using bioelectric conductivity. So when we have the right voltage in the charge, the body is rapid fire communicating, sending things where they need to go. Now, when we look at the body as a biofield, as an electromagnetic system, this is where you start to see the miraculousness of our body. And I could talk to you all day about the lymphatic system, kidney filtration, which I will tell you about because I want you all to check your pee tomorrow morning. And we'll tell you why this is happening in the body. But the body generates an electromagnetic field with the heart. The heart is the strongest electromagnetic field of anything that's produced anywhere. And that's why when we're in our heart space, we're in our power, right? And so the brain, the heart, and the mitochondria function as a bioelectric generator. And the mitochondria, how many have heard of mitochondria, right? Yep, everybody, okay. Mitochondria are the powerhouse of your cells. Inside your cell, you have something that's called mitochondria, which is tiny purple bacteria that actually take glucose, they take oxygen, and they prepare energy for the body. But guess what? We think of mitochondria energy as what we eat, right? I'm eating glucose, I pair it with oxygen, then I make energy. Actually, before it can do that, it needs enzymes in order to make ATP. Before it can do that, it needs light. So light is the precursor to the enzyme activating. The enzyme is the precursor to the mitochondria being able to work. So this is why I focus on how much living food are you eating? Living. We are in a carnivore craze right now. How can eating 100% death equal life? Just ask yourself that question. No judgment, just bringing it into perspective. Is we've gotten so lost on the chemicals, the protein, the macros. I have never in 10 years had one protein deficient patient, ever. Because every single plant in the world has amino acids, which are the pure building blocks, and they're filled with electrolytes, and they're filled with phytonutrients, and they're filled with carotenoids. And unfortunately, my scanner is not here with me today, but I actually use a scanner where we measure biophotonic light. I can take your palm, I can measure the light in your body. The average human should be at negative 70, or about 70,000 millivolts. That is the beacon of wellness. At negative 50 millivolts, we start to see dis-ease or symptomology of it. Like I have a headache, I'm tired, I have constipation, those sorts of things. The average human that I scan is between 20 and 30 millivolts, 20 and 30,000. My scan that I did was 77,000 millivolts after being on 16 planes in 5 weeks. So all of these things that should be depleting my life force, I had the second highest scan in 30 million scans. And this is technology developed by NASA and MIT, and I'll talk about that later. So this is measurable. So what you're seeing is, how much charge do you have? And he was like, the guy that did my scan when I first bought this device, he was like, that is the second highest scan I've seen in the world. And I should be depleted after all the airplanes, the trains, the time changes, all the things. So biophotons, like I mentioned, are ultra weak electromagnetic waves. The DNA inside your cell actually emits biophotonic coherent light. It emits this light and it acts like fiber optics to transfer information. So this light emission is actually what is allowing your cells to see and to sense what is needed to happen in the body to carry out those hormones. To actually be able to, no physical contact, but to be able to say, hey, I need more progesterone produced right now. I actually need more estrogen. If we don't have light, we can't communicate that. If we don't have the right millivolt charge, we actually can't communicate that. So when we look at mitochondria light as frequency generators, that's what we need to understand. We are frequency generators. We're like batteries. So the mitochondria do so much more than produce ATP. They actually emit and respond to light and infrared spectrum. So guess what the best cup of joe in the world is? Sunrise. Seeing the sunrise. If you wear contacts, please take them out. Don't put them in the morning. Go outside, bare feet, look into the sun. Not directly at it, slightly off. That red and infrared and blue light in the morning is actually telling your body to down-regulate your melatonin, so you get rid of that groggy feeling, and to up-regulate mitochondrial function. That is your cup of coffee. When you start letting your eyes receive light, even that light receiving is actually starting to transform your hormones, your chemicals, charge your cells. Everything is happening because it is telling you where you are in the world, what time it is in the world, and what the body needs to be carrying out. So it's the most free thing you can do. So research shows that infrared light therapy is incredible. So yes, if you live in a place like I technically live in Minnesota. I have a house there, I say. My things stay there. I live in a suitcase and I travel the world speaking. But I have to bring red light with me because sometimes I'm not able to get that sunrise. If you can't get the sunrise, sure, get some red light. Now, this is what I talked to you about. This is what I want you to take away. Negative 70 millivolts, optimum health, good ATP production, regeneration, detox. Your body can repair itself, it can detoxify itself, it can balance its hormones, it can talk. This is where mine was at 77,000, which is amazing. Negative 50 millivolts, early signs of fatigue, early signs of sluggish metabolism. Negative 30 millivolts, chronic illness, pain, and inflammation. Negative 15 to 20 millivolts, and actually, I went lower on this, is cancer, degenerative, and disease states. Current clinical research, and if you look this up, you will find this. Science is finding and knows that at negative 30 millivolts, the cell goes back to a eukaryote state. You know, our cells are a community, we're an ecosystem, and they all need to work together. And when they lose their voltage, they forget that they're part of a community. And they go back to this single cell eukaryote state and they go, I don't know how to repair myself. I also don't know how to break down. All I know how to do is replicate, 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 replicate in order to stay alive. Cancer is a cell that's lost its charge, that's trying to still stay alive. That's it. We have to stop fearing cancer. It's just like voltage deficient cells, damaged cells. They've broken down on their own waste. So what we eat, what we drink, what we breathe, what we put on our skin is what brings your voltage down or up. So when we work on the environment that surrounds the cell, then the voltage naturally comes up. There are other things you can do, of course, to charge the cells. But at the molecular level, this is the next thing I want to talk about. How many of you heard your body is 60 to 70% water, right? We're actually 99% water. It's super interesting. I was like, wait, what? And that's because at the molecular weight, like protein, muscle weighs more than water. But if you actually look at a cellular level, we have 99% water inside of our cells. So we're actually completely water and light. That's essentially what we are. So why is the body 99% water? We have a very low molecular weight compared to proteins, fats, and other biomolecules. So although it accounts for that, what dominates, it's a much smaller level at the biological level. And I'll move on so I can finish up. And you just help me on time. Where I'm at. Okay. So the cells are filled with structured water. I don't know if you know this. Have you heard of structured water? Everybody's using structuring devices, all these things. Here's my main tip for water. Drink living water. Living water is spring water. That means it's actually come through the earth. It's actually being charged by the earth's electromagnetic field. The magnetic field of the earth is charging the ions, and the earth is giving it all of its minerals, sodium, potassium, magnesium, all those things that you saw actually are what is conducting all of this electricity. One of my favorite sayings is eat your water. Does that make sense to you? Fruits, berries, green juices, that's eating your water. That's living electrolytes coming into the body. So you're eating life, you're getting all of those good electrons, it's loaded with minerals, antioxidants, polyphenols, carotenoids, and then also when you drink water, it should be spring water. It should be living spring water, not RO, not distilled. I know that's what we are told because it's the cleanest water, but RO and distilled water is no longer water. We've taken all the life out of it. So it's actually just a liquid that the body doesn't recognize anymore. And this can cause dehydration and advanced cellular degeneration. So we have structured water, which actually forms a liquid crystalline that plays a role in our cellular communication. So what that means is water that comes through the earth is naturally structured, like it's naturally coherent water. Then I drink a glass of water and we have what's called hydrophilic surfaces. That fancy word just means water-loving surfaces, okay? So our cells love water. Water attaches to our cell, and it literally forms like what's called a proton wire. I want you to visualize a cell with like a battery, like a positive and a negative. And the water is moving across the cell, charging it. That is what happens with structured water, fourth phase water. So the cytoplasm, which is the fluid inside the cell, is a gel-like, highly organized water that structures and allows biophotonic and electric communication throughout the body. So this is why that living water is so important. And when you feel tired, a lot of times it's not only that your voltage is low, your hydration is low. So looking at it as a water as a conductor of bioelectricity, The body operates as a bioelectronic system, and water is essential for transmitting all of our electrical signals, nutrient transport, nutrient absorption, utilization, and maintaining separation. Water acts like a battery, and you guys get it, it's charging your cell. So, we have a big role in cellular health. It maintains voltage, enables biophotonic communication, the body emits and absorbs biophoton light, it supports our ATP production. So if we don't have water, I can take all the glucose I want, eat all the protein I want. If I don't have water, I can't make ATP. The body will do what it can, but it'll steal, beg, and borrow every resource you have inside your body to do it. And it's essential for detoxification. Optimizing cellular water for health, so drink living water. That's what I said, spring water, number one. Second thing I do every day is I do drink molecular hydrogen-rich water. The reason I do is because our bodies aren't the same, our earth isn't the same, and our water isn't the same anymore. And hydrogen is amazing because it penetrates every single cell in your body, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But raw content foods, fruits, greens, herbs, avoid dehydrating factors. Like when you look at processed foods are actually completely dead. They're non-living food. Like I don't find a cracker on a tree, even if it's made from cassava flour, right? Like it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in nature. It's not alive anymore. We've denatured it. So once we change food, like we start to cook our foods over a threshold of 108 degrees, we start to decrease the cellular availability and we start to change the chemistry of it. So then we start to have foods that are enzymeless. They don't have enzymes. We need enzymes are actually the catalyst to every single cellular function in your body. And a lot of people are enzyme deficient. They're taking enzymes. But the body should be making enzymes. And so we have to look at pancreatic health and all those different things. So I'm gonna move on. This is one of the these are the reasons I love molecular hydrogen, guys. It's an incredible antioxidant. It gets rid of harmful radicals. It reduces inflammation, increases ATP, it supports detox. I could go on, but here's the thing about hydrogen. Molecular hydrogen penetrates every cell in your body, including your skin. It's the only molecule that's tiny enough, it's the smallest molecule in the world, penetrates everything in your body. We're made from hydrogen, the sun is 99% hydrogen. It's part of what we are, who we are. It has zero capability to cause harm. And in my practice, I always only work with things that will never cause any harm and not have any side effects. In 3,000 clinical studies, zero side effects. Only side effects, health benefits. Penetrates every cell, upregulates the NRF2 pathway, starts to charge the electrical capability of the cell, brings water into the cell. It helps the cell reduce oxidative stress and damage. And it says, hey, you're a bad cell, you need to go through apoptosis, you need to break down. Hey, you've got some repair to do, I need you to regulate your NRF2 pathway and start your detox repair pathway. It's brilliant, it's literally God's design. And they call it the God molecule because we don't understand it. It actually like goes to the body wherever it needs to go, and it'll, like you might not notice, you'll be drinking it, and it might find something in your spine that's a really high priority that you don't know about, and it'll start working on it. And so people that notice the benefits of hydrogen water right away, generally are in a relatively good state of health. People that go, I don't notice anything yet, the body is working on some deep stuff. And you will start to notice the benefits in time. So it's a compounding effect. So I drink about 6 bottles of hydrogen water a day. Rohini, who organized this amazing event, met me in London as I spoke on molecular hydrogen, wanted me to bring that into my talk today, so I did. And so these are the rest of the benefits. You guys, I will send these slides out for you guys, but I want to honor time. And this is the bottle that I choose to represent is Lumivitae. And the reason I represent Lumivitae bottle is because it was made by a clinician. I'm a clinician. I need a real device that works. I need something that is meant to support the patient. So this one, from bottom to top, I'll tell you everything real fast. The electrodes are titanium coated in platinum. That's very important so you don't have heavy metals in your water. The membrane is a proton exchange membrane. We have the strongest membrane in the world. And then there's a discharge. So when you're making electrolysis, you can make other things. It needs to be coming out the bottom. The only thing that should be coming through this membrane is pure hydrogen. The glass bottle, it's not glass, actually it's Triton, which is the highest grade medical plastic. so it doesn't leach any chemicals or endocrine disruptors. Nuno has also put the magnetic field of the earth in the base and the frequencies of the sun in the lid. We basically have the earth in a bottle. It's a very unique device. That's the one I use. I work with a lot of different protocols and products. So here's what I want to tell you before you go. I don't know where I'm at for time, but here's what I want to tell you. Here's a little assignment for you guys. You can go ahead and check this out. You get my free detox guide here. And then we will send out these slides so you can see this body is electric. This is just like a 16th of the information I could share with you right now. But go ahead and scan that. Here's what I want you to do. How many of you guys have heard that clear urine is good? Totally wrong. Isn't that crazy? So I'm not talking dark urine. I'm talking clear. So this is the biggest thing I want you to take away. Test your urine. Tonight, stop eating around, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, whenever you stop. Stop consuming all liquids, all food. Go 12 hours without consuming liquid or food from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., whatever, 8 to 8. Doesn't matter if you pee in the middle of the night, I don't care. You can go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, doesn't matter. All you need to do is check the urine from 12 hours away from the last time you consumed anything. And that urine, pee into a clear jar, look at it, hold it up. It should be cloudy with lots of flakes. And I know that's shocking. I know everyone's like, what? I had crystal clear urine. Every patient I have with autoimmune cancer, they have crystal clear urine. Do you know what that means? What's going in is not coming out. What's going in is not coming out. You're just peeing out liquid, but you're not peeing out excess nitrogen, excess protein, excess urea, all of this stuff that the body is supposed to be lymphatic waste. So that 80% of the body's fluid is lymphatic. And when that waste can't come out through the urine because the kidneys aren't filtering right, then the lymph system backs up. That 80% sewer system backs up. And then we have inflammation, rashes, hives, itchy skin, all of that stuff. And then what happens? The environment around the cell starts to suffocate the function of the cell. And then what happens? Millivolt deficiency. We start to feel tired. So I wanted to bring it full circle for you, give you guys something tangible to do at home. If you look this up in nephrologics, so basically nephrology, they know this. They call it dumb pee. So if they look at the patients that are under anesthesia, they lift up the bags, they look at them, and if they're clear, they're called dumb pee, meaning this patient is going to have a hard time recovering. So this wisdom was lost somehow in this translation, and this is what I work on. So I'm going to leave you with this here. This is my Institute of Regenerative Health. I train and certify people to become regenerative health practitioners globally. We help you build a thriving practice. We built an entire Regen Pro online platform that actually skyrockets your practice to the moon the moment you graduate, building a multi-six-figure income and beyond, working online like 6 hours a week. And then this is my upcoming longevity program. We start March 3rd. If you want to age backwards and live forward, you want to reverse your biological age from the inside out, we're doing a Dubai special. This is normally $5,000. We're bringing it down to $1,000 for our entire regenerative longevity program. So you can learn more there. If you scan it, I'm going to do a webinar next week explaining more about it. Thank you so much for the time. I hope this was interesting to you, and just know that your body knows how to heal itself when you give it the right environment and the right charge.
Thank you, Carrie. That was amazing. Wow. I could literally listen to you all day. That was electric in itself. I was wondering, my first question, if we can allow 2 questions from the guests, if that's okay. But I wanted to know, in Dubai we sort of get things quite immediately, so where can we find that hydrogen molecular bottle?
So I think I have 10 bottles left back at the table. So you can go get them. The other is if you buy it, we've got activated free shipping for you today. So it'll be here in 1 to 2 days. They have accelerated Dubai free shipping right now just for this event. So it's okay if you can't get it today. And then the second thing they're doing just for people that buy here is we're adding 100 euros to your account for future purchases. So it's amazing. The bottle is 488 euro. I always say you get what you pay for. And you really get what you pay for. And it's an amazing bottle. It has a 2-year warranty on it. So if anything goes wrong, send it back. They just, actually you just send a video in and they replace it. So that's that. And then if you want to buy one for family member, they're going to add 100 euros to your account. So you basically get $100 off your next device.
Is there anyone that has a question? I have two.
Oh, good. Okay, great.
Can you hear me? Yes, for the hydrogen, will you need to provide for patients who have SIBO, which is hydrogen?
Who has sleep problems? SIBO, yes. So this is a big question. So SIBO is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Now, some people will report that hydrogen irritates or activates SIBO or H. pylori temporarily. Here's the key. So when you have a bacterial overgrowth, this is an environment where the bacteria is releasing its own gases. So it creates a lot of gas, a lot of bloating, a lot of indigestion. If you have acid reflux, most of acid reflux is actually H. pylori. A lot of people don't know that. So acid reflux, where it's refluxing up, if you have reflux only after you eat, maybe it's acid reflux and your pancreas isn't working right. If you have reflux all day, doesn't matter what time of day, you have H. pylori or SIBO, because it's the gases from the bacteria being produced that creates that. When you start to drink hydrogen, it can exacerbate the symptoms temporarily because you're experiencing die-off. You're experiencing the bad bacteria is dying, and it releases gases when it dies. So your symptomology does get worse, I find, for about 2 weeks, I'm gonna be totally honest. So go slow, and I'll teach you to go slow. If you come inside our programs, we'll teach you how to go slow. But you can have it, it just takes time.
Thank you so much, Carrie. May I please have a round of applause for Carrie? Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hi, thanks for that. Just one question, which is about electrolytes. What's your take on hydration and the use of electrolytes?
I believe,
Amplifying hydration.
yeah, I love this question. So I believe electrolytes come from their natural source, from nature. So I eat them. Like I said, eat your water. That is the most natural electrolytes. Cold pressed coconut water, loaded with it. Watermelon, loaded with it. All of your fruits, loaded with not only electrolytes, but antioxidants and things like resveratrol. If you research that, it's like, there's actually a book called The Grape Cure. We've helped many patients with red grapes actually cure cancer, like crazy things. We can't say that on camera, can we? In Dubai we can, we're in Dubai. But yeah, so there's so much where I say, get your electrolytes from nature. That is gonna be the most natural, real source. And then drinking living spring water. Living spring water is loaded with electrolytes, that's what it is. You can, there's lots of electrolyte powders being sold and all that. If you're like, you live on an airplane and you need more electrolytes and you can't get fresh food, then yes, I would say supplement electrolytes, but nature provides an abundant amount. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone.
Thanks so much for having me.
Joining Carrie's talk today. The next one will start at 3 p.m. So have a bit of a break, come back, relax, refresh, wander around. We'll see you shortly.
Sorry, I thought she said like 30 minutes. I was like speed talking, right?
No, you did amazing. It really